there are a couple of, there's a question and there is, there are a few questions here. And Janki Ram says, it's the right topic for Navratri, 9 days to renew our bhakti and relationships. I think that's
true.
That's very nice, Janki Ram. Okay, and there's another question which I've put here. Is there a higher form of bhakti that comes after we have got the knowledge and we want to be one with God?
Yes, there are two levels of bhakti, they say. One is referred as para-bhakti, another one is referred as apara-bhakti. The para-bhakti is what is referred as jnani.
Okay.
Devotion for no reason.
Yeah.
No particular reason you have. You don't have anything. There's nothing to seek from God. In fact, devotees actually feel they have to give God. It's an amazing feeling. How do you know this? I don't know how many of you are aware of this. In this Tirupati, they have a very interesting practice. You know, they have a practice of applying Amritanjan to Balaji. You know that? Pattu, you know, they have a celebration where they apply balm. Actually, they go and apply balm to Balaji. Why? They say, imagine the fellow listening to all the crap the devotees come and talk. Whole day he is standing and listening. My God. We don't even give him a seat to sit down. Permanently standing. The fellow. How long he can stand? You know that. Walking is easier. You know that?
Yeah.
You people try that tomorrow. Those who go for a walk, half an hour, 45 minutes, you go for a walk. No. Dedicate the time to stand in one place for 45 minutes and see what happens to you. Standing itself is a problem. And then they say, how much he must be getting. You will get headache, you know, all the time you listen. You get headache. Poor fellow. We should apply balm to him, they say. That is called bhakti. You see, they don't go to God to seek something from him. They go to God for what I can do to you. You see, that form of bhakti is called para-bhakti. Is referred as superior status. That's a great devotion. But then we can't start with it. Remember, you know, even though it's a higher form, anything higher you can't start with. You end with it always. So that's why Krishna gives all these four forms of bhakti. He says, Arthati also bhakti, Artha also bhakta, Jignasu also bhakta, Jnani also bhakta. But of the four, he says Jnani is superior. Why? Because his bhakti has no requests. He doesn't even go on asking for liberation. The Jnani will not even go and to God and seek, give me liberation at least. Give me pure mind. He would not even ask for purity of mind. It's not that he is going to ask for solutions to my problem, solve my problem. No. There are people who go to God and say, you don't solve my problem, man. At least give me strength to go through that issue. Go through the pain. Go through that misery. Give me that strength. He doesn't even ask that. Even if God were to come and force it on him, they say, what do I want? I don't want anything. That is called para-bhakti. Para-bhakti, higher form of bhakti, is a jnani. He just uses the word. Okay, just 4 words he is using. So don't get involved with the words, you know, because people will start fighting immediately. That you know that those who follow that path of jnanam, they say, see, Krishna himself has mentioned what jnani to be superior one. In this context, jnani is not the fellow who is practicing jnana yoga. Jnani is just a word being used. You see, jnani is used to refer to a person who goes to God without any reason. There is nothing for him to ask. Why there is nothing for him to ask is because he is already overflowing with fullness. Since there is so much of surplus he has, He has been already bestowed so many things to me. What more I can ask? What else I can ask? There is nothing else missing in my life, nothing more I need in my life. My life is paripurna. That expression to him. Then we ask the question, then why is he going to God? He is going to God to take care of him. Looks ridiculous. We can't even understand that side. Is there any meaning? That's why I gave this example of this practice. This bhakti they apply, Amritanjan they apply to.
Yeah.
This. Don't take literally Amritanjan. They have, some herbs and all those things they put. Don't go out and say, in Tirupati they are using Amritanjan, why not tiger balm? They say, it's not that case. That identification they have, they start feeling that they have to protect God now. They have to take care of God now, instead of God taking care of him.
Right.
You see, now, like we all feel, you see, as we grow, a point would come where we start feeling like we should take care of our parents. See, the parent will never feel that. The father will say, what? Hey, I don't need anything from you. You want anything, ask me, I'll give you that. The father will never need anything from the child, from the son. But the son starts feeling more after a point of time. He says, I should take care of him. That maturity, when the devotion gets matured, it becomes a higher path. That is the jnani state. That's the uttama bhakti or parabhakti. Some words they use. That's all. Higher form is that. That's all.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's we can understand that. Thank you so much. There's Janki Ram says we can model ourselves after saints who had exceptional bhakti. I guess that is our goal. Yeah. And Nayana says, what if you ask for peace and happiness of all in the universe?
Yeah, that is also included as form of seeking. You see, you ask. Of course, we can ask. Nothing wrong in asking. Don't go out saying that, you should not ask. No. But what we need to know is, when we are asking the question, we are asking for peace and happiness of all in the universe. That is where I gave this example. Adveshta Sarva Bhutana. One. I'll give you one more. Christ gives a far more practical advice. That's why I like Christ a lot. Far more, down to earth fellow he is. Teaching, fascinating his teachings are. Direct, simple, yet so profound. He says, love thy neighbor as thyself. Forget about universe. Forget about the whole world. Because it is easy for you to say, I love the whole world. Now, do prayers for the welfare of your neighbor who is constantly making noise when you are about to sleep. When you are about to fall to sleep, wah, they scream. Hey, because RCB match is going on. Now, to that fellow, you should pray what? Let them be happy. I'm so glad that they are so excited, so happy. Can you say that? That is far more realistic than this superficial ideas that, I'm talking about the whole universe, talking about this, that, when you can't even feel for your neighbor. Yes. That's why we ask, look at the whole world. Every country has a problem with the neighboring country. Within the country, every state has a problem with the neighboring state. Tamil Nadu has no problem with Jharkhand. Why? There's no connection. But Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra, what does it say? Okay. Now we are in Karnataka. Now within Karnataka, is there everything fantastic within two districts? You know, there are a lot of protests happen that water should not be released to the next district within Karnataka. Now, state, I can understand. Within the state, what is the problem, man? Then within the district, what is that? Taluk. Within Taluk, what? Neighboring village. Within village is what? Neighboring one. Your test. That's why Krishna says, Advesha. And Christ says, love thy neighbor. Don't talk about universal law. Because you can fake it so easily. But you can't fake your neighbor because he will expose you straight away. So my recommendation is, don't ask for peace and happiness of the universe in all. That is none of your problem. Ask for the peace of your neighbor. Ask for the peace and happiness of the boss who is constantly irritating you, bugging you, your colleague who is refusing to cooperate with you. Can you do that? That is far more realistic than to claim that I'm going to love the universe. But of course you can ask. But will it be answered? Take it from me, it will not be answered. You can ask. Right? God doesn't answer all the petitions. No. He gives answers to all the petitions. But 99% answer is no. Mother gives answer to all the petitions of the child. But most of the time, the mother answer is what? No. Same way, God will give your petition to ask for peace and happiness of the universe will be granted, provided you are qualified to ask for it. When you are not qualified to asking, you will not get any answer. That is why we are not getting any answer from God now. We keep asking for it. Why? His instruction is not universe. His instruction is what? Neighbor. You go on asking for the welfare of the neighbor. That will get a better impact for you. Okay. I think there's one more question we have.
Yeah, there's one last question we'll take. Do we see bhakti in the knowledge path? Convergence, they say. Kindly elaborate, Sirji. How do we see universal love when self-preservation is still ruling our minds?
Yeah, when self-preservation is ruling our mind, universal love is just a word we have learned. That's about it. It's just a word. You're right. It is not possible. If at all the fellow claims, it's a false claim. You can fool the world, but you can't fool God. That's what Ramatirtha says. Don't try to throw dust into the eyes of God, for you shall be blinded. He says, you will be blinded. So don't do that mistake. And then with reference to this question that you have asked about this convergence, this bhakti knowledge convergence, in fact, all the practices converge. For example, all of you are in different parts of Bangalore. One person is coming from Yelahanka. Another person is coming from Whitefield. Another person is coming from Jayanagar. Okay. Another person coming from Malleshwaram. There are 4 fellows. All 4 will come from 4 different directions to Kempapura, where I stay. All 4 will converge little more closer when you come to my house, you will come to my street. To that street also, two fellows will come from this direction, two fellows will come from this direction. And then when you are entering my apartment, all of you have to enter through that one gate only. And then you have to come to my building, then to my door. I open the door, all four will enter through that. Similarly, whether you are practicing karma yoga or you are practicing bhakti or you are practicing jnanam, all the things will converge at a point. Bhakti will become jnanam, jnanam will give bhakti, both will create selfless action. All this works. All three works together. Like in the scriptures, they give a beautiful example. It's like a bird taking a flight. When a bird is flying, you will see the two wings. They flap the two wings and it flies. But the bird uses the tail also. If you clip the tail, the bird cannot fly. Because if that bird has to take a direction, the direction is decided by the tail. You see, same way, this karma and bhakti were the two wings, and jnanam is treated as a tail. Through selfless work and a pure emotion, purity of emotion is how you will grow spiritually. But to direct your selfless action and to manage your pure emotion, to express the pure emotions, you need intellect, buddhi, jnanam. So the jnanam also has to be there. That is why we say all these things needs to be practiced simultaneously, not exclusively. Not to be taken as step by step. It's not step by step. It is simultaneous. That's what Tapasyananda, I think. He gives a beautiful example. Somebody went and told him, isn't it? It's like a ladder. First you have to do it and then you have to do that. He said, yeah, it's like a ladder, but a ladder can be reversed also. A ladder, if I can put a ladder in this way, I can put a ladder the other way also. Then what will happen, sir? Jnanam becomes the lower, karma becomes higher. You can reverse it also. So we can start anywhere, but remember, all three needs to be practiced simultaneously, together. But sometimes, depending upon your personality nature, one may express more than the other. Like Kabir is more of devotion. You don't find hair-splitting analysis in Kabir, isn't it? Buddha is more of a analytical type. In Buddha, you will not find much of devotion and all that. In Buddha, you find this. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, okay, you don't understand Kabir, you can take these two, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Ramana Maharishi. Closer to our times. Closer to our times, when I say not that, I don't think any one of I have never seen, I know how many of you have seen those, one of them. We have seen means you are lucky. Okay. Now, Ramana is of a very different type. Ramakrishna is of a very different type. At the same time, Ramana also has written so many stotras. And there is fascinating intellectual explanations of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Is also there. But what is more dominant is where the difference comes into picture. That is why a lot of people say, you start anywhere, the other one also goes in you automatic. Automatic. Because it's like a cycle, pedaling. You see, To the extent you pedal this, the other things comes up. Then press that, then this comes up. Then this. Thus you keep traveling. So there is a chance of these two things. This bhakti kindling knowledge, devotion kindling knowledge, knowledge kindling devotion. More you gain knowledge, more you feel the devotion. Deeper your devotion grows, greater is your jnana. Greater is your perception of that. So that's what they say. Bhakti finally culminates in jnanam, and jnanam also culminates in bhakti. All that culminates in karma also. Expression of selfless life. That is also there. All three comes together actually. So why? Because you need to practice these three things together. If you are not doing it together, if you take a stand that only bhakti I am going to do, then it will not happen. Only jnanam I am going to do, it will not happen. Only karma I am going to do, it will not happen. That is when you get into this fanaticism, all this involvement, all these things happens because of that. The wrong practices in the spiritual path becomes a reality because of it. Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that absolutely wonderful answer. And again, you've given us something that we can remember, which is the bird now, and we'll remember that. Thank you so much. A lot of people have said very good session and answers to questions. Thanks, Ishwaranji and Rtambhara. Thank you very much for an enlightening talk, Shri Ishwaranji from Gulu Advani and Janki Ram. And Ramchandran says, very good example, Sirji. Thank you. And T.N. Babu also says, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we have to thank you. And I just want to actually bring out a couple of ideas that you brought out, which I think we have to reflect on. One is to be conscious of all the provisions we are being provided. It will definitely instill a sense of gratitude in us. And this gratitude towards the source is bhakti. That was very beautiful. And devotion will express itself spontaneously when you want to serve, when you get joy out of this service. Manifestation of devotion is service. And then, of course, there's that beautiful example you gave about karma and bhakti being the two wings and the jnanam being the tail. Thank you so much for a brilliant session, as always. Thank you, Ishwaranji. Thank you. I would just like to announce a few programs that are coming up. On Sunday, 18th August, we have a program by Umesh Dagatji, and it's a joint program with the School of Ancient Wisdom, and it starts at 7 a.m. It's based on boosting your immunity. And please note the change in the Zoom ID for this program. Please note that. It's done jointly by the school, and the school will be hosting it, the School of Ancient Wisdom in Bangalore. We'll be taking a break for Dasara. We realize a lot of you will be busy with the festivities and preparations for the pujas and for Diwali. On 30th October, though, we have Acharya Raghu Ganapati ji giving us a talk, and the details will be posted on our chat groups through email. Do block your dates for the 6th of November. We have a very special session coming up. It's going to be a panel discussion with eminent speakers on a topic of global importance today. And we will post these details as well on our groups. Thank you once again for your participation today from all of us at Rtambhara. And we look forward to your presence this week on Sunday, 18th October and 30th October again. With that, we conclude today's session. And thank you once again, Ishwaranji, for a very, very enlightening session. Thank you.